Board members, we all set? Okay.
I'll hold your chair for you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education, I would like to thank you for being in attendance, both virtually and in person, for tonight's board meeting. At this time, I'd like to reconvene the meeting of Community Unit School District 300 Board of Education to order for Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Burkett. Fiorentino.
Present.
Lamarca, present. Scarpino.
Present.
Stevens.
Present.
Thomas.
Present.
Settler.
Present.
You have 6 board members present.
Thank you. Dr. Harkin?
Yes, I would like to invite Mr. Bob Cabone to the podium to introduce his pledge leaders tonight from Lake in the Hills Elementary School.
Administrators, if you would kindly step to the side. Parents, you are welcome to stand up, take pictures of the kids and everything. It's a great moment for you. Mr. Coban.
Yes, thank you. And good evening, Superintendent Hargan and District 300 School Board. Lake in the Hills is very honored to have been invited to lead tonight's Pledge of Allegiance. The students in front of you are an exemplary group of 5th graders who serve as members of our school's Safety Patrol. In order to have been selected to be a Safety Patrol member at Lake in the Hills, students needed to interview in front of a group of teachers. Students responded to questions pertaining to their interests and goals for serving. The students needed to exhibit a strong work ethic, be responsible, and be good role models for others. Out of 34 Lake in the Hills Safety Patrol members who were picked to serve this year, the 10 students, well, we've invited 10 students tonight, and these students were chosen for tonight's ceremony because they received a high degree of positive feedback from teachers and staff on the work that they're doing. These children display care for others, attention to detail in regards to safety, and ability to build relationships with others. In meeting with the students, I heard many highlights that these students have experienced in serving a safety patrol this year, and some of those highlights included making sure that our kindergarten students arrive to their buses on time and board the right buses, conversing with the students that they help, making sure that all children have had a good day and helping them feel better if they have not, giving children high fives to ensure that everyone is happy, cheering up and talking to those who do not seem happy, and finally, one comment that really resonated. And this is from one of our students, Safety Patrol is not just about being a leader, but about showing kindness to others. We're very proud of each and every one of these students. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present our distinguished 22-23 5th grade Safety Patrol members from my left to right. We have, absent tonight was Ava Armanzo. Then we have Bronson Begley, Braden Denna, Nida Khan, Aiden, you guys can wave so they know her. Aiden Kokinos, Halia Morales, Jacob Marungi. Absent is Kenzie Rohrbacher. Then we have Raylan Schnell, and absent is Bella Witt.
Very nice.
Guys, ready for the pledge? Flag's over there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I wanted to share one thing off the record here. When I was meeting with the students in the conference room, when they heard they're going to be meeting with the board, the people who make the big decisions in our district, they were talking about possibly wanting to go back to early release days, things like that. I said, that is where I back off. So I just wanted you to know in case they say something, because I said they're gonna get up close to it.
That's okay. Jacob is in favor of that. I saw it.
Parents, you're free to leave and everything. Thank you very much. You have some great kids. Outstanding. Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you. For those who have watched our board meetings both in person and over the internet, you will remember we have rules of decorum. These rules serve a purpose so we as a board can have a meaningful and productive board meeting. In order for this to occur, decorum must be maintained. The following are the rules of decorum. First, there's no need for anyone to call out comments during our meeting, or to raise their voices, nor to interrupt another speaker or presenter. We as a board will listen to you and we will be respectful. We will consider your comments, but will not dialogue or engage with speakers in this forum. Board members may choose to discuss matters brought up during public comment during board discussion. However, I need to remind everyone that this would be a board discussion, and the board will not dialogue or engage with anyone other than the superintendent and fellow board members. I ask you to please be respectful, civil, and courteous during our meeting. Second, if a person chooses to be disruptive, I will gavel the person and ask them to please stop their disruptive behavior. Additionally, our district safety officer or his agent may warn them that if they choose to continue their disruptive behavior, additional consequences will be forthcoming. Third, if a person chooses to continue to be disruptive and not follow the rules, they will be removed from our meeting. This action is a direct result of the person's choice to be disruptive. Fourth, we as a board will respectfully listen to each speaker. Just because we didn't vote the way someone wanted us to does not mean we didn't listen or take into consideration what you had to say. Please remember, we all learn differently. Some of us take notes during presentations and therefore take our eyes off the speaker. It doesn't mean we are not listening. Fifth, in our effort to accommodate the ability for more seating in our boardroom, we respectfully request that the audience remain in their seats throughout the duration of the meeting, with the exception of using the restroom or speaking at the podium. And finally, I want to thank you in advance for your cooperation. The board and I look forward to a meaningful and productive meeting. Our fifth item is the approval of the agenda. There will not be a second closed session, so we will be removing item number 14. With that, may I have a motion to approve the revised agenda?
So move.
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
You remember?
Stevens,
Aye.
Lamarca, aye. Ferrantino.
Aye.
Scarpino,
Aye.
Thomas. Aye. And Zeller. Aye. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Dr. Harkin.
Yes, we have one group that we'd like to recognize tonight. So tomorrow, April 26th, District 300 will recognize our administrative professionals. Our District 300 administrative professionals are our main office secretaries, principal secretaries, attendance secretaries, receptionists, registrars, and administrative assistants who are instrumental to the teams they support. These individuals help employees stay connected, tackle new challenges, and exhibit grace under pressure. Please join me in expressing gratitude for our hardworking team of District 300 administrative professionals. And that's all we have for recognition.
Okay. Public participation. Please note that the Open Meetings Act provides any person the opportunity to address the board under the adopted public participation policy. That being said, the board would like to advise the public that we will not consider statements read during public participation that are not authored by the reader to be credible unless the board has previously received the statement in writing from the author. Additionally, the author should indicate that he or she has granted the public participant the authority to read the statement on his or her behalf. Tonight, we have had 3 people sign up for public participation. I will call each of you individually up to the podium. Please state your name and relationship to the district and limit your comments to the allotted time. And I will be reminding each speaker the allotted time. Please note the following. Each speaker has been provided with the guidelines for public participation. Minors need to be accompanied by their parents or guardians. The board will consider your comments, but will not dialogue or engage with speakers in this forum. Questions raised may be assigned to the superintendent for an answer. As appropriate, a member of the administration may reach out to the speaker to give them relevant information or ask for additional information. This is done to make sure the board has all the information needed to properly address the speaker's concern. Charges, complaints, or challenges against staff members of the district will not be heard in open meetings and should be made in writing to the board and superintendent. We also ask that speakers refrain from personally attacking district staff or members of the board. We ask each participant to be respectful to all individuals who have signed up to speak and adhere to the allotted time limit. We also ask that speakers conduct themselves in a civil and courteous manner and refrain from trying to engage members of the board in dialogue during public participation. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. The first speaker for 3 minutes is Ann Miller.
Aren't you the lady whose room is this named after?
Yeah, it's really kind of humbling coming in here tonight. Do I have to repeat my name or anything?
Please.
Ann Miller, community member.
Thank you.
And I'll try and keep my comments to 3 minutes, although I don't know that I'll make 3 minutes. Thank you, Leslie. See, I told you I wouldn't make 3 minutes. I tried to think about what I wanted to tell you or give to you in thanks for your service. I learned a lot from our conversations. The thing that I learned the most was how difficult it is to do what I say. What I mean is, as much as we were having detailed conversations and I'm trying to understand your viewpoint, I'm trying to understand me. And having, I keep saying, listen to the other, listen to the other. And I was reminded during our conversations that, hey, Ann, step back. Listen to what Leslie is saying. You say you want to learn, you want to hear. So in our conversations, I learned a lot. And what I learned mostly is your heart is so into District 300 and into the food pantry. You left and you came back. There's a lot to be said about working with people that are in need in our community. And you're the one that does that. So, trying to figure out what to give you, I brought you spaghetti. And then I have a donation check of $100 for the food pantry because of you. So I'm going to give you that and say thank you. It was a pleasure working with you. It was very worthwhile and rewarding to me, and what you brought to the community and your heart. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Stevens. Mom says no, go ask Dad. I should say, and I mentioned this to others, all I really need to say is December 2012. And people learn differently and process things differently. And what I learned from you, as much as I learned from Leslie more about myself and following things, I learned from you so much about working with people, especially people that have differing views, and how to work through those without debate and listening and having dialogue. We go back, we have a lot. I didn't bring you any spaghetti, and I didn't bring any check, but thank you. Thank you for what you've done for the district, and thank you for what I've learned from you. You've made me better. You've made the district better. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Joe.
I will say, I'm going to break the rules, and you can't fire me, so what are you going to do? Mrs. Miller, I have to say, I do remember that date, and I remember what happened that day, and the wisdom that I passed on to you actually came from my wife,
We talked
because
about that.
we went through that same experience, yes, so, but I hope you're going to hang around.
What, until after the meeting?
Yes,
No, I'm going to hang around until they announce the shoe winners.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann.
Can I oppose
Yes,
her and
ma'am.
give
Yes,
her-
ma'am.
For the years that Ann served, 21, 24, it was amazing. But during that time, we traded positions back and forth. We were called Yin and Yang. We were called Mom and Dad. We were called Pollyanna and Hard Ass. Mike Williamson might remember those. But it was a good run. But I just have to make this one little comment. I knew Ann's mother before I knew Ann. She was an absolutely delightful lady who I fell in love with. And I wasn't sure about Ann as far as running for the school board. And her mother said, "Give me one of your signs. I'm going to put them in my front yard." I did. I put one, without telling Ann, I had a sign in Nell's front yard. She was a wonderful, wonderful woman. And I have a comment that I'll repeat myself. My very first board meeting, I was like a fish out of water, as I'm sure that the new board members will feel. And I was thanking them after the meeting for how gracious they were to me during the meeting and understanding of my lack of experience. And very matter-of-factly, Ann said, "You're one of us. You're a board member. You're a full board member. You have one vote. We have one vote. Your vote is no more important and no less important than mine. So just be on with it." And that was the end of it. And so true. And we've been friends ever since. And we enjoy red wine. Yeah. So thank you, Ann.
Our second speaker for 3 minutes, Sam Sylvester.
My name is Sam Sylvester. I'm a parent of 3 children here in the district. That was tough to follow. That was very nice. But on a more unpleasant note, the reason why I'm here tonight, I'm going to be talking about my my experiences here with one of my sons in the district. So tonight I wanted to talk about and make the board aware of my son's experience in middle school. We've had a tough 3 years in middle school due to many different reasons. But since January with my boy and Stripe, and when we started Striped Pajamas being read in ELA, the World War II unit and genocide unit in social studies, my son has been the subject of discrimination on a daily basis, assault, and threatening messages. My first anti-Semitic report, or me and my wife's first anti-Semitic report, was on January 13th to share my son had been called a smelly Jew, banker, penny pincher, closet hider, and shown Hail Hitler signs. The administration response was that they apologize and there will be an empathy day later this month. I shared my concerns only talking about one-day education to acceptance of all is not enough. My next report was on January 30th or January 20th, where I shared that my son's milk had been taken out of his hand during lunch while eating a spicy chicken sandwich. When he was asked for it back, the student refused and called him a stinking Jew. Again, by administration, there was an apology given and there was an empathy day coming up. And they wanted a name of the student who did this, rightfully so they could punish him. When the name couldn't be provided, because my son was scared to give that name up, there were videos provided that could be reviewed, but nothing was done to support my son. January 26th to set up a meeting on January 30th. When was the district administration get involved due to me not being satisfied with administration at a certain middle school on how to handle the derogatory language that is stemming from the units of study being done in the classrooms. A plan of action was going to be put in place. We put check-ins in place for my son as well as eyes on the table in the lunchroom. The only problem was that teachers were not informed by administration as why they were doing the checking-ins with my son. So they weren't doing it with purpose. We had to meet another time to discuss all the people that are in my son's life and need to be monitoring the behavior. Empathy Day finally occurred and the students were supposed to give nice letters to the students. My son received, I love you Jew, dirty Jew, and I hope there is a second Holocaust so your bloodline ends. My son kept all these to himself and showed one friend who told his dad about them, thankfully. And that is how we found out. At this time, the derogatory email came out from this middle school on February 2nd. Is that my time?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Our next speaker for 5 minutes, Stephanie Sylvester.
Okay, my name is Stephanie Sylvester, and I have 3 kids in the district, and I'll be continuing on where my husband left off. So the derogatory email came out from this middle school on February 2nd, and the pencil about discrimination was handed out. Why were these notes not seen before handed out to my son? It goes back to the 3 comments. How are we monitoring the abuse that keeps occurring to our 13-year-old? February 28th, I met again with district admin and building admin, and I had nothing to share as far as my son's life getting better. They shared derogatory lessons were being created and coming out in April. However, this wasn't helping my son right now. Due to my son refusing to give names of student doing this, because it was happening everywhere, I was told there is not much that could be done. 2 students were heard in March saying derogatory words to my son and received a 1-day in-school suspension. One compared our family to Anne Franks and was making fun of our bloodline, and the other said, "Get out of the way, you effing Jew." April 3rd, he actually said the word though, but there's kids, so I'll filter it. April 3rd, I met again with the district admin and school admin and shared that my son reported that all the discrimination started in an ELA class where kids were playing Hitler speeches, the noise of coins dropping for being a penny-pinching Jew, and saying, "Smells like copper," when my son walked by. I reported that all this was happening loud enough that the teacher could hear it, but nothing was being done. They said they would investigate. After it happened again on April 10th, a week later in the ELA class, my son said to the teacher, "Aren't you going to do something about this?" The teacher's response, in my son's opinion, was, "Not my problem," and walked away. My son was completely let down by the staff. Teachers are supposed to create a safe place for students to learn. This time I filed a discrimination report with the district lawyers due to the adult's behavior, silence, to correct the derogatory language in the classroom. The next day, April 11th, in the lunchroom, my son had enough. When he was called a dirty Jew, or stinky Jew, at this point, who can remember, he told the boy to stop. When the boy didn't, he threw his yogurt at him. The boy got up, walked around the table, and pounded my son 5 times. The boy received a 2-day out-of-school suspension. When I asked where the adult was that's supposed to supervise my son's table, the administration forgot to replace the supervisor that day. April 14th, I had another meeting with district admin and building admin to put a safety plan in place for my son's social anxiety that is now existing. Threatened to be jumped now and not feeling safe at school. April 16th, I filed a police report when searching my son's phone and found threats from a 4th student. The one that made my hair stand up was, "I effing hate Jews. I literally hope Hitler comes back to take out the Jewish population again, or I'll do it myself. F you." Due to me filing a police report scared for my son's safety and notifying the school, the majority of the Westfield student population turned on my son, calling him a snitch for this boy getting 4 days out of school suspension. What? See something, say something. Does that not exist anymore? What happened to upstanders? Is this what our education has come to? When I filed a report with the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, they shared that they have offered District 300 free professional development for the past 2 years, but that it was not taken. Are you kidding? It sounds like our district could use professional development titled No Place for Hate. Especially since the 4 students that have been caught by adults actually all came from the same ELA class where my son reported discrimination was occurring, but nothing has been done with that teacher. How is that possible? How do we have adults that aren't supporting all students? Why are we not being more responsive to parent requests the first time they are placed? If hate is happening to my son, I can guarantee it is happening to other students as well. We need to stand together and change how our students are treated. Enough is enough. With anti-Semitism having a 49% increase from last year's reported cases, how are we supporting all students and highlighting diversity? What training are we doing for adults to understand their implicit bias that is mandatory? Having access to professional development is not the same thing as being forced to learn it. I lost where I was, sorry. I am here today asking for the board's help to revisit these optional professional development practices. When I share my son's story, I don't want to pretend there haven't been people helping us. In fact, until Adrienne Harries and Kristen Sansbury became involved on January 26th, we were not being heard, so I thank them for their work at trying to make our school system better. However, they do not live at the schools that my kids attend. We need to change our responsiveness. I have one more sentence.
No, finish your comment.
Okay.
Finish.
Okay. However, they do not live at the schools that my kids attend, and we need to change the responsiveness of the adults at the middle school level. Students cannot learn if they live in constant fear of being bullied or jumped for being different. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Mr. Stevens, did you?
I'm going to break the rules again, and I'd like to respond to you, Ms. Sylvester and Mr. Sylvester. I'm only speaking for myself because this is my last board meeting. I'm retiring. I'm very sorry this has happened to you. I guarantee you one thing I know about this district is that now that it has reached the level of the superintendent and our legal counsel, your situation will be looked into. It will get the most effort to fix it. This is nothing that we are proud of, nothing that we like. I appreciate you bringing it forward. I'm sorry it's gotten to this, but best of luck to you. I apologize on behalf of everybody.
I would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Sylvester for bringing this serious issue forward. It takes courage to share in public what your son has experienced in his middle school career. On behalf of the Board of Education, I would like you and the entire community to know and understand that this district does not condone any actions of discrimination or harassment at any level of this organization. That being said, Dr. Harkin, on behalf of the board, I am directing you to address these concerns in an appropriate manner and have a member of your administrative team follow up with the parents immediately.
Yes, Ms. Sainsbury's in the room tonight.
Okay.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Sylvester, again, if there's anything, I know she's been working closely with you, and Mr. Harris is as well, too. This is an issue for the district, and we had come up with plans. I had become intimately knowledgeable about this last week, and on today, our team has been assigned to all of the middle schools because we are seeing an increase of these types of situations at our schools, and we will be addressing it promptly and addressing any student behaviors in a manner that is not accepting any tolerance of that in our schools.
Ms. Sainsbury, if you would be so kind, Mom, Dad, and Grandma and Grandpa, if you would please look up. Thank you. Item number 6, recognition, Dr. Harkin.
Yes, I believe we are at the superintendent's report, and the next, good news, you're at good news.
Yes.
Distinguished Educator and Employee of the Year winners announced by D300 Foundation.
The D300 Foundation for Educational Excellence hosted its 2023 Distinguished Educator and Employee of the Year Awards recognition ceremony last Tuesday. Prior to the event, each District 300 school was invited to nominate an educator and/or staff member who demonstrates professional excellence, innovativeness, and dedication to enriching student learning experiences. All nominees were invited to the recognition ceremony where the 2023 winners were announced. District 300 would like to congratulate the following 2 winners. Congratulations to Sleepy Hollow Elementary School third grade teacher Zoki Russo, who was named as the 2023 Distinguished Educator of the Year. And congratulations to Carpentersville Middle School Family School Liaison Melissa Edith Garcia, who is named in the 2023 Distinguished Employee of the Year. District 300 thanks the D300 Foundation for honoring the 2023 Distinguished Educator and Employee of the Year winners, as well as the nominees.
District 300, again, earned Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting from ASBO. On April 18th, District 300 received news that it has earned the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting from the Association of School Business Officials International, also known as ASBO. Jennifer, how many years in a row is this? How many? 16. Is that all? Pretty proud, pretty proud. The Certificate of Excellence recognizes District 300's annual financial report for the fiscal year 2022 with the award communication stating, your participation in the COE program for 16 years is a testament to your district's commitment to transparency and high-quality financial reporting. So in other words, we've won this ever since we applied. That's amazing. District 300 strives to ensure the equitable and efficient use of our resources district-wide. As such, District 300 would like to thank ASBO for this prestigious recognition. District 300 would also like to thank Superintendent Dr. Susan Harkin, Chief Financial Officer Jennifer Porter, and the District 300 Finance team for all of their hard work in earning this certificate. This is old news because it happens so often, but it is not insignificant. It's very significant that we win this every year, and we should all be very proud. Thank you.
District 300 to recognize Mental Health Awareness Month in May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and all District 300 schools will recognize the observance in a number of ways, including encouraging staff members and students to wear their District 300 Mental Health Awareness Spirit Wear, or the color green, every Monday during the month of May, and encouraging staff members and students to wear the color green on Thursday, May 11th, in recognition of National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day. In addition, District 300 will host a free mental health fair on Tuesday, May 2nd, from 5 to 6:30 p.m. at Westfield Community School, where local agencies and practices will be available to all District 300 families to help support mental health awareness. For additional information on activities, parents and guardians are directed to contact their child's school.
Winners selected in Ann B. Miller graduation ceremony shoe design contest. The Board of Education is excited to announce the winners of the 8th annual Ann B. Miller graduation ceremony shoe design contest. The shoe design contest is named after former District 300 Board President Ann Miller. Ms. Miller wore the winning designer shoes to graduation from 2016 to 2021. A total of 30 students from Dundee Crown High School, Hampshire High School, and Jacobs High School submitted 36 shoe designs for this year's competition. A District 300 Central Office Committee voted to determine a winner for each school. At that time, District 300 is excited to announce the winners of the 2023 graduation shoe design contest. From Dundee Crown High School, the winner is Lauren Breswell. From Hampshire High School, the winner is Felicia Lasano. And from Jacobs High School, the winner is Ruben Rivera. Each winning student will fabricate their shoe designs, use supplied shoes and funds for materials. Then the finished shoe will be worn at the graduation ceremony for each designer's respective schools. District 300 congratulates Lauren, Felicia, and Ruben on their winning shoe designs. Good, them cool.
Nice job. I believe we're on item number 9, superintendent report. Dr.
Yeah,
Harkin.
so Mr. Almodovar, if you'd come up, and he'll do the first superintendent's report on the Seal It by Literacy program that we have in the district.
Good evening, Superintendent Harkin and Board of Education, and congratulations again in your retirement, Mr. Steven and Ms. Lamarca. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the Seal It by Literacy. This is also part of our strategic plan. This is the strategy 2D. So our Seal It by Literacy offers, D300 offers high school students the opportunity to earn the Illinois State Seal It by Literacy and the Illinois Commendation Tour by Literacy. The State Seal It by Literacy is a recognition given to high school seniors who exhibit the ability to communicate in both languages, in English and also in an additional language. Students who have made significant strides toward biliteracy but do not qualify for the seal can earn Commendation Tour by Literacy. So how do you earn the Seal of Biliteracy? Demonstrate proficiency in both English and an additional language. You can also earn a qualifying score on a test, which it could be the SAT, an AP test, the Access for ELs, or the STEM test. For the English score, you will need to qualify getting 480 on the English test, of 4.8 in Access or more, and also earned 6 plus in the STEM test in English only when you're a senior. And this is in order to earn the Seal of Biliteracy. For the commendation, you can earn it by getting a 3.5 in Access and also a 4 plus in the STEM test. For the additional language, very similar, you can earn the seal by getting a 4 or a 5 on the AP language exam. STEM test also you earn it with a 6 plus. For commendation, it will be a 3 in the AP language exam, or in the STEM, also getting a 4 or 5. So what is the STEM test? The STEM test is a standardized test that gives an assessment on students in the 4 domains of the language: in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. This year, we tested the students in our 3 high school, and we had 11 languages in addition to English. So these are the languages that we tested this year. So looking at some of our data, this is since we started doing the Seal of Biliteracy in 2018. The first column that you see, the total, those are the total students that have been taking the test year by year. And you notice also our trend starting 2022, it's been going up. Some of that changes also became because we've been also offering to pay for the test for our students to earn the Seal of Biliteracy or the commendation. Something that I would like to highlight, especially for this year, we have a total of 452 students that took the test. Out of those 452 students, 427 obtained enough scores to earn the seal or the commendation. That's 427 students obtained that. Now, that doesn't mean that all are obtaining the seal or the commendation, but at least they already have one side of that of the package of getting the seal or the commendation. So that is actually a 94% of our students already have a first step getting that. And this is not only for seniors, this is also for all students in the high school level. When we look at the seniors that are earning enough the scores for the seal, we have 95 seniors, and also for commendation, 67 students this year in the commendation. So this is also highlighting this year. Currently now, these are actual data in terms of these are the students that are earning seal and commendation. From Dundee Crown High School, we have 30 students are right now, 30 seniors that have earned the seal of biliteracy, and 5 students that earned the commendation. For Hampshire, we have 18 and 9 students for the commendation. For Jacobs, we have 25 students for the seal and 13 for the commendation. Now, please also understand that this is not also completely done, because this is just only based on SAT and also the STEM test. We're still waiting for access scores to come, and we also have AP scores to come. So over the summer, we'll keep increasing these numbers. But as of today, these are just the seals and commendations that we have in our district, which is very good news. Additionally, this is also one of the things that we've been encouraging our students, and honestly, I do want to thank all the teachers in the home world language department, also counselors. We've been educating more of our students as to why the seal or the commendation is important, because it can save a lot of money also for our students and their families. If you look at, as an example, NIU, if you obtain the seal, you can get up to 12 credits. That's already a semester already for our students. So this is something that we want to continue educating our students to earn that seal of biliteracy and that commendation, because it's also not only help them in the future to call themselves, certified by the state as a bilingual person, but it also help them saving some money towards their education. And I know the number in terms, I said it was about 94% that our students obtained and passed the test. I know that people can think, well, maybe the test is a little bit too easy. Well, when you have to read, write, speak, and listen all in a different language, sometimes it's not that easy unless you actually know the language very well. So that's all for tonight. So if you guys have any questions for me,
Board members, any questions? Outstanding. Very good. Thank you.
thank you.
All right, next up is Mark Wetzel, Mr. Wetzel, here to talk about Avid and Avid Excel.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Harkin, and community members. In June, I provided a comprehensive overview of Avid. Tonight, I'm here to provide a refresher for you. This Avid aligns with Strategic Plan Priority Task 2D. There we go. Avid is an academic system that has proven to close the achievement gap and prepare students for post-secondary success. All of our secondary schools have been running Avid since 2008, and Carpentersville Middle School has been running a program within Avid called Avid Excel since 2018. The goal of Avid Excel is to increase English language acquisition so that when students complete 8th grade, they transition into the traditional Avid class in high school. In order to join either program, students must complete a rigorous application and review process. There are 3 components in each program. They mirror each other. For component 1, in both Avid and Avid Excel, teachers focus on 5 key instructional areas: writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. In Avid Excel, there is extra emphasis placed on oracy, reading, writing, and vocabulary to support English language acquisition. In both programs, Avid supplies teachers with weekly lessons that target these areas, and students participate in academic instruction 3 days per week. So they have 3 days of instruction a week. On the other 2 days, for component 2, students participate in a student-led process that occurs. For the Avid class, students bring in a point of confusion from their academic work, support one another in learning through asking questions, and apply new learning to their academic classes. For students in Avid Excel, the teacher provides students with a reading that students then analyze, find a point of confusion, and proceed through the Avid tutorial process. So they're very similar. Midway through 8th grade, students in Avid Excel transition to the typical Avid tutorial process by bringing in materials from their classes. Note that in both cases, students do not show one another how to solve problems. Instead, they support one another through asking questions. The goal of the tutorial process and the Scholar Group process is to teach students how to learn collaboratively through inquiry. For Component 3, students participate in authentic learning experiences designed to prepare them for college and career. These activities begin as early as grade 6 and occur throughout a student's time in Avid. A few examples of authentic experiences include college visits, community service opportunities, guest speakers, college and career fairs, mock interviews, and college application writing, to name a few. We currently have 1,443 students in Avid and 118 students in Avid Excel. Although our senior data is not in just yet, that'll be complete in early June. Last year, students in Avid, if you recall, were offered more than $10 million in college scholarships, and 91% of those students indicated that they plan to enroll in colleges. To the left on the screen for you are examples of colleges that our students enroll in year after year. We would expect similar numbers coming out of this year's senior class. What questions may I answer?
Board members, any questions?
I don't have a question, but I'll give you a comment that I remember when Tom Hay introduced this program to us. And we all thought it was a great program, and it turned out to be, and it was only offered, I think, at the senior level at that point, the senior high school level. And it has had such an impact on students' lives. It's a great program, and I hope it continues to excel, and I like your presentation very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Great job, Mark.
Thank you. You get stuck with me for one more.
Okay.
Yeah. Skills for Success. So next I'll provide a high-level overview of the elementary Skills for Success class. All right. Skills for Success is a new elementary specials class that was implemented in August. The class meets one time per week for 30 minutes as part of a specials rotation. Please note that over the course of the school year, this translates to less than 3 full school days of contact time. So there's not a lot of time for this class. The curriculum team, composed of lead members, built this course from the ground up. There is no textbook for a class like this, and the team did an amazing job locating resources and developing instructional activities from scratch in order to support students. The team developed purposeful lessons that support goal setting, listening and speaking skills, collaboration, problem solving, and financial literacy. Students also work to develop keyboarding skills through the use of the program Typing Club. Lessons have been thematically categorized and vertically aligned, and the curriculum team made purposeful decisions to adjust some themes as students matriculate up through the elementary grade level. So that's the chart you're looking at. For example, as students progress into grade 2, they begin to work with financial literacy concepts. As students progress into grade 4, they begin to dive deeper into college and career exploration. Although it's not explicitly indicated in the chart, students at grade 5 will engage in several activities to support the transition to middle school toward the end of their 5th grade year. For example, students will review sample middle school schedules, gain a greater understanding of sports, clubs, and extracurricular opportunities, and will participate in a lesson to learn how to use a combination lock. Giving them a head start on learning how to use a combination lock will help reduce their stress during the opening weeks of 6th grade when they feel the pressure of a timed passing period. And as a former middle school assistant principal, it is definitely a skill that they need when they come into 6th grade. Students will also participate in a lesson on email etiquette. This helps support digital citizenship as students enter middle school, as they will have district email accounts beginning in 6th grade. For each unit, parent newsletters highlighting the topics and concepts have been developed in English and Spanish. These are shared with families by principals through their family communication processes. This year, students in grades kindergarten and first received the same set of lessons. Students in grades 2 and 3 received another set of lessons, while students in grades 4 and 5 received yet another set of lessons. In preparation for next year, the team is in the process of creating new lessons for grades 1, 3, and 5, so that students in kindergarten this year will have a different experience when they get to first grade and so on and so forth. So next year, we will have 6 sets of lessons. Okay? Any questions that I may answer?
Board members? No? Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're on item number 10, consent items under $25,000. As a note to those in attendance, both virtually and in person, some of these items have been vetted through either the joint committee, which is why there may not be a need for new discussion. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items under $25,000?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Lamarca? Aye. Stevens?
Aye.
Thomas? Zeller? Fiorentino?
Aye.
Scarpino?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item number 11, consent items over $25,000. As a note to those in attendance, both virtually and in person, some of these items have been vetted through the joint committee, which is why there may not be a need for new discussion. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items over $25,000?
So move.
Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Stevens?
Aye.
Thomas? Fiorentino?
Aye.
Scarpino?
Aye.
Zettler? Lamarca? Aye. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Item number 12, roll call action items. Item 12.1, approval of the 6 through 8 Spanish language arts and 9 through 12 French curriculum adoption. Do I have a motion for the approval of the 6 through 8 Spanish language arts and 9 through 12 French curriculum adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Secretary, would you please take the roll?
Lamarca? Aye. Stevens?
We.
Zettler? Thomas? Fiorentino? Scarpino?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. Board discussion, item number 13. Any updates regarding the board committees? Anything?
The next meeting, joint meeting is 10th? Steve, do you remember? It's in May sometime.
May 9th. May 9th.
May 9th.
Okay. Any board discussion, anything? Anybody
Mr.
wants to talk?
Stevens, you will not be at that.
I will not be at that one.
We already said goodbye to Mr. Stevens.
Have fun. Yes.
Dr. Scarpino, we do have someone that would like to make a comment, if we could, tonight. As part of board discussion, I'm taking my liberty as the superintendent to ask if permission to do that.
Yes, okay. Yes, please state your name and.
Mike Williamson, Lead 300 President, member of the IEA Board of Directors, member of the NEA Board of Directors, and I am not on the board, but I would like to discuss 2 members of the board. And I didn't feel that I would make the time limit in the public participation. Because, I mean, we do have to talk about 17 years of legacy with one of them and, 4 years of legacy with another. So I just, it's become one of our responsibilities, and I am here also to represent the other unions. Ava and Deb couldn't be with us tonight, but it's become one of our responsibilities to make sure that we send off our board members appropriately after doing the impressive service that they've done. And let's be honest, Joe Stevens and Leslie Lamarca have sat during what has got to have been the strangest, most difficult, most powerful, most traumatizing, and in certain ways most interesting period to be on a Board of Education in a long time. So, and I want to start by just addressing, well, first off, I keep trying to explain to the board that they can only have one person leave at a time because otherwise I have to talk for too long. So I would like to cheerfully assign the length of this speech to Leslie Lamarca. because you needed to stay longer. Joe had to go. It's 17 years, right? He had to go. I mean, someone born the year he came on could watch rated R movies. I mean, someone born the year that you came on is not in kindergarten yet. So again, length of the speech, that's on Leslie. That's for the audience online too. But I just want to start, so Leslie, those of you who don't know Leslie well, don't know what a powerful thing it is to see someone who truly knows how to lead through support. Because Leslie came on, I remember working with Leslie through both of her elections, and Leslie came on and just started looking for ways that she could support everybody. Just started looking for ways to say, what can we do for our community to make this work? And anybody knows her truly incredible work through the food pantries. It's not just that our students can't focus when they're hungry. It's that our students can't be in school when they're hungry, when they don't have access to hygiene products or warm water or water at all. And if you've never gotten to know the work that Leslie does to make it so that kids can be in school, be present when they're in school, and be the powerful learners that they are trying to be, you just haven't gotten to know her. And luckily, I think she's going to continue that work. The unlucky side of that is it's really easy to blow off Chuck Bumbalis when he calls you and asks you for something, because you can just pretend you're busy. But when Leslie calls and asks for something, I not only know she knows where I live and she's going to show up, but I know that because of who she is, I'll get to it isn't going to be good enough. It's like, no, you'll get to it now, Mike. Thank you for that. Because the work you've done to lead this district through the support, through the holding up of everyone, is a thing we don't usually get to see. You are an impressive person and an incredible board member, and I'm sad to see you go when you're only a 4-year-old. And I do want to go back. Please manage Chuck Bumbalis well, because I mean, now that he's not an administrator, we don't get to see him storming around outside, but I'm sure he's doing it somewhere. Okay. But anyway, so that's Leslie, and now I got to address 17 years of service. So you might want to get pillows. My first impression of Joe Stevens ever, and you have to remember, he's been here long enough that I was in middle school when he started on the board.
Oh my God.
I mean, he hadn't been here quite as long as Ann Miller, who dropped out of school, and then they made her serve on the board until she made up all the days that she'd missed. Right, and Joe didn't do that. But the first thing I ever heard, somebody was mad at Joe, and this was years ago, and they said he should go back to the hospital. And I thought they were just being mean, like he'd been in the hospital, and he should go back. I didn't know that he had done all sorts of work with the hospital. Then later on, I did all sorts of research when we were mad at Joe. We spent a long time mad at Joe, and I'll come back to that. But I did all sorts of research, like what dirt can I find on Joe if I go to the hospital? And it never worked because nobody ever knew anything. Right, but so that was my first impression. One of my other early impressions of Joe Stevens, I'm going to bring up a former board member for this too. And I told this story to Ann and Joe's wife earlier tonight. But we were sitting, and it was when we still had the board meetings at Westfield in the PDC. And Mary McNicholas, former board member, was interning with us at the time and doing political work. And for some reason, I don't think anybody else was cold, but Joe was cold, and he had this little blanket on his legs. And Mary was adept at, there would be like a pause in the talking in the room, and then Mary would say something. And that night, and there were 2 rows of administrators in front of us, and I was early in my tenure as president, so I didn't just yell stuff from the audience like I do now. By the way, thanks for never kicking me out. I appreciate that. But there, like the room went silent, and Joe had just shifted his blanket, and Mary McNicholas said loudly enough that all of admin could hear, "Why does Mr. Stevens have a security blanket tonight?" Okay, so these are like my first early impressions of Joe. Okay. And then there's the other piece of, we spent a lot of time again, and I'm kind of all over the place, but there was a long time when we thought if we could just get Joe Stevens out of Dundee, we'll have a calmer board, everybody will be going the same way. He didn't understand he moved to Rutland. We were trying to get him to leave, and he went to Rutland, and then we were never going to get rid of him because at the time nobody ran from Rutland. And this year the throwdown on the board was from Rutland. I mean, if anybody, right? Like, so I think you started that, except Chris Stanton would fight me for that, and he was always from Rutland, right? I was like, that's Chris Stanton. So we tried, and he just moved to Rutland. So, to be clear, Joe's Pollyanna. I can say this because he said it. Ann's hard ass, Joe's Pollyanna. It was never reversed. I like that you wish it was, but it wasn't, right? The first thing I ever agreed with Joe Stevens on was TIF districts. I was at a finance meeting, so we called it something else then. Joe was going on and on about how much he didn't like the TIF districts, because every municipality is like, let's get another TIF district. Let's get another TIF district. And I remember looking over again at Mary McNicholas and saying, I just agreed with Joe Stevens. And then I remember talking to Ann about it and saying, Ann, what do you think about TIF districts? And then she agreed with Joe Stevens. I'm like, okay, I gotta go to the doctor. This isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work because I'm agreeing with Joe Stevens. So why do I keep joking Joe about agreeing with Joe Stevens? In 2012, on December 4th, on the most beautiful day in December we've had in years, it was 60 degrees. Our t-shirts were all the wrong size because it was supposed to be cold. But the universe opened up and said, no, take a nice long day walk in a 60-degree weather. Joe and I went head-to-head on national television when we went on strike. And I'm not bringing that up. I'm not bringing that up to pick on Joe. I'm bringing it up to say I want everyone listening to this or who hears the recording or whatever to recognize just where this district has gone and what we have gotten to. And I'm going to say I didn't say this later, but it's going to be on the tape, so you're going to be able to say I did. We wouldn't have gotten there without having Joe Stevens on this board. I mean, 17 years is a thing, but don't clap yet. We're not there. 17 years, Ann, 17 years. So we did that for a day, and we only did it for a day. Chicago had just come off of their thing, and it had gone on for quite a bit longer than that. And we did that for a day, and we fought, and we said terrible things to each other, and we fought about stuff, and we pushed on class sizes, and we pushed on money. But what we really, really, really pushed on that day was how do we make this space a space that is financially solvent, that stands up for all of our kids, that follows best practices? How do we get to those spaces? That's what we did that day. It took a long time for Joe Stevens and I to agree on anything. Finally, it was TIF districts. But it took a long time. And you come to respect the people you see as your adversaries when you think they're adversaries. And in the middle, I'll get to the place where he's not really an adversary anymore. But that's going to be a minute. But that came down, David. You can't pull me off yet. It's because I'm saying nice things about Joe. And somebody's going to have to remind me that I did it. Like, I didn't do that. That didn't happen. Right? I tried to get him to go to Rutland. No, wait. It was Leave Dundee. So anyway, we had that day. And it was a big fight. And I won, which was nice. Right, because we were all over national television, and we had that funny bit at the end where Ann Miller kept stepping off of the, pavement, and she looked like she was shorter than she is, and it was just. And then we had the moments after that, and after that, and after that, where we all tried to navigate. How do we come back to a place where we are where we are an educatum system, not this group versus this group versus this group? I've been in this position for 10 years, and it's something we've really worked on. Okay, I just made it clear I wasn't really in middle school when he was first here. That was a lie. I was 30. But that's where we got to. Sometime after that, and we still had kind of a rocky thing. I have lots of members who to this day probably remember you as the board member you were the day before the strike. Because they haven't been engaged in the way I've been with board members, all of you. I mean, let's be honest. I used to fight with David, too, because he was an administrator, and he was kind of scary. But there was this weird moment. I don't know if you've ever seen The Grinch Stole Christmas. There's this weird moment a few years later, and Joe was sitting up at a board meeting, and his heart grew 4 sizes too big. And I'm kind of kidding, but I'm kind of not. Because there was this moment where Joe has family members who are educators, and has family members who've been through a lot of things. And I think so I might have agreed with him on TIF districts. I think he found a place to agree with me on some of the stuff that family members of his were going through. And I'm not going to give the whole story of that because some of that I think is personal for both of us. But we shared a moment where we realized we were on the same page about the way the world of education needed to move. And it was a powerful thing. And I had to admit that sometimes I'm wrong. It doesn't happen a lot. I mean, I've never been wrong with Susan Harkin ever. But, it doesn't happen a lot. But sometimes I'm wrong. And he had this incredible heart thing. Boris Karloff was there. They talked about it. His heart grew 4 sizes too big. And what we got to was that one of the most impressive things that we could all do was make this space financially stable. I am very, very proud of the work that I have done in my role as a president of a union. I am very, very proud to say that we have gotten contracts that have supported the education of this district, that have made sure that we could continue to move forward and be competitive in relation to people around us. And those of you who've been here a long time know, when I started, I'm not going to give the year, when I started, it was just, we were just always losing people east, always east. Everybody just moved east. They were here for a couple of years and they just moved east. I'm not saying that that doesn't, we still have people that moved to Arizona too and other things like that. But we aren't any longer the place that just raises every educator for every district around us. We've come to a point where we sometimes get people from districts around us, which I'll keep improving on. And we've come to a point where we realize that being financially stable is part of the powerful thing we need to be doing, not the thing we always need to be pushing against and acting like it's not something we should be talking about. That was you, sir. That's what you brought, and it's a thing I learned from you. So there's all that, and I've said way too many nice things about him. But I guess that's where we're going to be tonight, you know, because I've been telling you that I've been writing this speech for 17 years. Actually, it wasn't really, it was like a couple of years. But it's like, how do you tell someone who one time all you knew how to do was say, how can he possibly say those things about us? That there were minor amounts of things that he said that were not at that moment, but there were minor amount of things that he said that were right. How do you get to a point where you say, we are one group? And that's why I said I'm speaking for the other union presidents as well. We don't move anymore as us versus. We spend all kinds of time working on making sure that the whole world knows that we are public education and that we are each other's closest allies. We, the board, the administration, DESA, DESPA lead, the communities, the incoming board members. We are public education. We all believe strongly in the same thing. We may disagree completely on certain little bits of it, but here we are all together. I'm proud of the work that I did as president. And Joe Stevens, I hope you are proud of the work you did on this board. And Leslie, I know you're proud of the work you did on this board, even though you left too early. And I'm just going to keep coming back to that. A couple of years, I'm going to be like, so Leslie, what about the board? But I'm proud of the work we've done with you. It has been a heck of a thing. Sometimes you got to fight with the people that you work with the hardest. Because if we all agreed, this just wouldn't make any sense. And I want to close with this. A couple of years ago, I got up at this podium and I gave a powerful speech that I got a lot of praise for about we were going to stay open, you know, as the pandemic was rolling in. And then it wasn't even a couple of weeks later I talked again, but a couple of days later we found out we weren't because we couldn't. I have spent my entire adult life, actually it probably started when I was in middle school, willing to stand up to anybody ever. I have no idea how the group of you did that. You are all braver than I've ever been. And thank you for that service. But you two in particular, yeah. What a thing you've done. Thank you.
Thank you. Board members, any comments?
Well, it's kind of hard to follow that up, but I kind of have a similar relationship. I've had a similar relationship with Joe over the years, and the best way that I can describe it is when I first started in the legal profession, I was a time in the profession where people would go to court and battle it out as if it was the end of the world if you lost. And then you'd go out and have a beer or dinner or something with the person outside because you left everything in the ring, you know, and then you left it there when you were done, right? That has changed over the years, unfortunately, and it's not as cordial as it used to be. But that's how I feel about my relationship with Joe over the years. We don't agree on a whole heck of a lot, except that we both support kids in education, and we're here to make sure that this district is functioning the best it can function. Joe's been in it a lot longer than me as far as sitting on the board, but we've worked together over the years on things before I was on the board, and I think, some successful things. And, but I feel like my relationship with Joe has always been, we fight hard, but then we leave it in the boardroom when we walk out and we're still friends. And I have a ton of respect for you, and I always will. And I'm going to miss fighting. But, and just for those people out there that think that we never fight, we fight. But nothing horrible, but just, you know, we have disagreements, and we're both strong-willed, kind of stubborn people. And that's, you know, but I have a lot of respect for you, and I will miss you. Leslie, you know, my whole thing in this, in politics over the years, and I'm going to get here about, you should say politics, but to me, it's not politics, it's public service. And I got into everything I've ever run for, I've run for because I want to serve the public. And I cannot think of anybody that is more of a public service than Leslie Lamarca. She's a you look up the phrase public servant and you'll see a picture of Leslie, because that's what Mike said is true. She's done so many amazing things for this district on and off the board. I'm just thankful that she's going to stay with the food pantry, because we need her there. We need people like her and the people that she attracts, because she is such a great public servant. And our district is that much better because of her, for all the reasons that Mike set out. We need people that are there to help kids. Every child has to be able to walk into school and be able to learn. And if you're hungry or if you don't have basic needs, you can't do that. And Leslie single-handedly, in a lot of ways, has developed this food pantry to make it a force of nature to help our kids walk into classrooms ready to learn. And I'm going to miss you too, but we'll definitely go out. And Joe and I will probably go have dinner sometimes too. But I'm going to come work more at the food pantry, definitely, just so I can hang out with you. So, thank you so much, both of you, for your service. And I'm sure you guys will still both, I know you will, Leslie, stay involved. Joe, I'm sure you're not going to be able to stay away 100%. So I'm sure I'll see you too, which is good. So you guys have both been exemplary board members, and I've learned a lot from you, and I've learned to emulate some of the things that you've done, both of you. So it's been a great experience, and thank you, and we'll miss you.
I'd like to start thanking both of these great servants by thanking their spouses, and I believe they're both here, Trish and Ray. You know, I know what it takes. My wife knows what it takes, many Tuesday nights and committee meetings and all the things that we do, but many thanks to you for allowing them to serve the community the way they have, the passion that they've both served. It takes a lot of time away from the family, so I wanted to call you both out and thank you for the support. I think I first met Ray putting up signs like 5 a.m. in the morning, and I thought, here's a guy with a great work ethic. So, Leslie, I couldn't agree more with what Nancy and Mike said. You know, when I first met you, I realized right away you have a servant's heart, and that opinion has not changed. We've been able to work closely together now every other Tuesday night for a couple of years. And, you know, it's you've been a strong board member. You took over my spot as secretary and frankly did it a lot better than I did. So well done on that, and became a leader on the board. So, you know, I'm going to miss you in this type of work, but like what Mr. Williamson said and Ms. Settler said, we know we're going to see you in the community because that's who you are. That's what's in your heart. And I believe it will be the food pantry, and it'll probably be something else. I don't know what that is, and I don't know if you know what it is, but you just have a heart for kids. You have a heart for the community, and I wish you nothing for the best. I, too, think you should have run again, but I will leave it at that. I wish you had. But there's a time and place for everything. So thank you for everything you've done and all the heart that you've poured out on asking tough questions and being a great board member. Joe, 16 or 17 years. It's been a long time, and I've served the entire time with you. You know, my first impression was a little different than Mike's. When I was making the decision to run, there was some tough times in the board, and it was just before the one-day strike and a few other things that happened at the board meetings. And I asked a few people. I asked our pastor, and I asked a past superintendent, Dr. Ken Arndt. I said, you know, who would you suggest? And they recommended a few people. 2 are in this room. Ms. Miller's still here, and Mr. Stevens. Our pastor's wife was a mutual friend, and she said, talk to Mr. Stevens, because he'll tell you straight up what board work is like. He won't sugarcoat it. He'll be very honest, and he's a man of high integrity and great faith. And, you know, she hit it on the head. The 12 years that we've worked together, that's what you've been. You know, you were one of the first breakfast meetings I had. I think I paid for that, by the way. You know, you've been that way the whole time. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned how to ask tough questions. And I think that's what I'll probably remember the most about you are those tough questions, you know, being prepared. And you're asking the questions not because you just want an answer. You're doing it on behalf of education and the kids, and making sure that we're not back in some challenging times like we were back in those times that Mike was talking about. So, but I wanted to ask you, have you given thought to how much time you spent on this board? You put it together? You know, I'm not going to go through all the details, but I just did 16, 17 years and 20 of these meetings, and back then they weren't 2.5 or 3 hours. Oh no, we go right? They were. They were long, but I averaged it out at 3 hours. And then the committee meetings, right, 20 or so a year. And when I looked at that, it's about 100 hours a year. And that's not including state meetings, prep meetings, training sessions, all the other things that we all have to do.
Documents.
Correct, to be good board members. Remember when the documents came to our front door?
Delivered to us, yes.
Right. So when you add that up over your career on this board, as a public servant, you're looking at 1,600 to 2,000 hours. So, you know, what I want to ask you too is, isn't that exciting to think that you're going to have that now together? All that time over the next 16? The pay is great. So, but it's been a pleasure and honor working with you, Joe, and both at the board and committees and traveling together at the meetings, state and national. You know, you were one of the first to give me advice, give me wisdom on how to serve and how to be a good board member. I did my best to take it to heart. You know, your service has always been grounded in high integrity and great faith, and it comes through. It's notable. So I would just say that, and by the way, this is also from my wife Robin and Stephanie, both also wish you all the best and happy years ahead. But, you know, your leadership, your presence, your leadership as an officer and then not as an officer were very powerful. And I think you are a great example to show that you don't have to have a title to continue to lead, and you did a wonderful job doing that. So I wish you all the best. I wish you both the best, and just say that job well done to both of you. Job well done. I will miss you. I'll miss sitting here with you. I'll miss our battles, and I'll miss working together on behalf of students and staff and our entire community. Thank you for everything you've done.
Okay, very good.
I'd like to say a couple words about Ms. Lamarca.
Turn your mic on.
Ray, you should come and sit up in the front, actually. Ray is Leslie's husband, really nice guy. Leslie, I've known you for about 10 years. you were working in my community when I moved there. And I got to know you then, and we started talking about first charter school and then District 300 schools. And I hope that I have some influence in the fact that you ran. Very disappointed you did not run again, but I understand why. If Landon were a sophomore instead of a senior, that might have made a little difference, but they keep growing up, don't they? But you have been a wonderful board member. But better than that, you're a wonderful citizen of this world because, Leslie, it's not just the food pantry that you do. I know of many other things that you do, some that are not well known. And you are always, always, always helping people. You are a truly wonderful human being. And I consider you a friend. I'm proud to be your friend. And I admire everything that you do. And I admire Ray because you're right there alongside of her. And so I know that you will continue good work, whether it's here or in Pennsylvania or somewhere down south. I don't know. But you've been a very good board member. I'm sorry to see you go, but I wish you nothing but well, and I hope we always stay friends and in contact. Is it my turn?
President.
I was gonna, may I add my 2 cents?
You can add you can add 4.
4 cents? Okay. I'm gonna start with Leslie. I want to thank you for getting me involved in the food pantry. I truly do. And I know JD thanks you also. I also want to thank you for sitting next to me. And I remember when we had the board reorganization and you were nominated and then you got the secretary, I asked you, I said, how would you like me to call you? And then you said, I've liked the TV show Madam Secretary, so please call me Madam Secretary. I remember, it's true, this is true. And so I've enjoyed that. You have been a super board member. You truly have, and I appreciate that. Joseph?
David? Who I have my suit and tie on.
I know you do, Joe. I tell you, I appreciate that. Joe, we started out like this, you know that. And I tell you, Ann, you know that. And I tell you, I appreciate your counsel. I appreciate everything you've done for this district. I truly do. I've been here since 2004, and I know everything that Mike was talking about and what Ann refers to and what you've been through. And it's, you're a good man, and I appreciate that. I really do.
Thank you very much.
It's all yours.
Okay, got a couple hours. I warned you all a couple weeks ago. You know, I'm not ashamed to say, first of all, that I'm going to be 78 next month. And I came from Rockford 35 years ago, and there was a woman whose husband was very, very famous basketball coach. He coached West High School to multiple state titles in a row. And his last name was Sidargas, Alex Sidargas. And his wife was Alice Sidargas. And she ran for the school board and won and stayed on until she was 93, I believe it was. And was in such poor condition, health-wise, that for the last year they would bring her to the school board meetings on a stretcher. And she would participate from her stretcher. I swore I would never do that. And while I feel fully capable of continuing to serve, it's time for other people to take over. And the one thing that I always enjoy is at 4:15 in the afternoon, I have a cocktail. And I don't drink when I come to the school board. So I'm going to enjoy being able to have that cocktail at 4:15 on Tuesdays. But for those of you who don't know, my lovely wife is in the audience. Trish, would you just stand up and, yeah, do that. It's surprising to me that this day is here. I do not regret its coming, but it does give me a large dose of gratefulness and melancholy. I could not have done it without my wife being in agreement and supporting me. And what many might know, but many don't know, is that all through my career, my wife, who I thought didn't know much about what I did, would always at the right time bring me words of wisdom that I couldn't hardly forget, and were very helpful. As Ann mentioned, that was one of those things that happened, that came from my wife. It was the resignation of John Court, who was the board president, that allowed me the opportunity to come to the board in the first place and open the door to my 17-year run. Ann has been there every step of the way for me. She's been very, very supportive, helped me. We've traded positions back and forth, and we've become very, very great friends. At the urging of Bill Ewell, Dr. Michael Breggy, Dr. Bill Dorn, and Dr. Ken Arndt, all well-known names in District 300, I got involved with the district. I was convinced to apply for Mr. Court's seat, and the rest is pretty much history. I was appointed and then ran for election multiple times. Now is the time for others to pick up the battle to protect public education, because it is under attack, and to protect it financially by being diligent in the spending of the taxpayers' money, but also to protect the growing number of people who seek to destroy it. And in destroying it, they're also harming children, and that's not an insignificant thing. This past election, I believe, has protected the district, but there is no doubt in my mind that the board will continue to have to be strong and deliberate to protect it in the future. That is not, however, where I wish to focus my comments tonight. I wish to focus on some of my memories, and I hope you will indulge me. You have no choice. One of the very first meetings I had after the mandatory trainings, as I mentioned, was with Shelley Nackey. I met with Shelley at the old Oak Ridge School, which was a trailer, which seemed like it was in the middle of a public park, but it was a trailer nevertheless called Oak Ridge. I felt so inadequate for that job. I had just been appointed and gone through all the appropriate training, but then I wanted to get to know people, and Shelley was my first meeting. Shelley was very gracious with her time and my ignorance, but didn't hesitate to pitch for things that she needed and how things could be improved. One of the several things that she said to me with a tear in her eye was that no child needed to be expelled. They can be saved. And at that time, the district was expelling well over 100 kids a year for various reasons. That statement never left me. Today, we expel very few children, and we save the rest. That is a very good thing. And Shelley, thank you for pushing that point. Shortly thereafter, things were different back then. Board members sat in on hearings with the child being expelled, and the parents had a right to sit before the board. At that time, I was listening to 2 appeals by parents seeking to stop the expulsion of their students, and I know you'll remember this. One parent, and both of the students were male, the one father used the hearing before the full board to make fun of his son, to ridicule his son, and to basically call his son a loser. The second parent of a different child in a separate hearing used that time to make all sorts of excuses for his child and never once saw a problem with his son's behavior. One element of that behavior was that the son was late for school 75% of the time. When the son was asked why he was late for school 75% of the time, he goes, I just don't like to get up in the morning. That was his answer. No response from the parent. Both of those encounters had a lasting, deep, shocking effect on me. I guess I had lived in a cocoon up until that time. If my children came home from school in any kind of trouble, I would say to them, what did you do that got you in trouble? Today, what more likely happens is What did the teacher do, or what did the system do to you that caused you this problem? Culture has changed, and in my opinion, not all for the better. The first child that was berated by the father, I wanted to hug and tell him I loved him. And the second child, who was late for school 75% of the time, all of which was excused by his father, I wanted to give a swift kick in the keister. Neither of those, of course, would be allowed today. I remember I'm going to rewrite or retell a part of this story, but I remember vividly my very first board meeting, how I felt like a fish out of water, and how Ann Miller treated me like I was one of the group, and that was all there was to it. And she was very matter-of-fact about that. And it was very, very helpful to me. And I don't like to disagree with Mike too much, but Ann is the Pollyanna. I have held positions of board president, board vice president, and I have successfully avoided the position of secretary for multiple years. But I have held the position of chair of the finance committee, and when it was separate, and co-chair with Mr. Fiorentino when the committee combined. Committees are where the bulk of the work takes place. The exploration, the questioning, the challenging of data takes place. Why more people don't attend those meetings, I really don't understand. But I will tell you that none of my questions that I've asked were in malice, with intended malice. But I think it's really important that board members, and I'm speaking now to Randy and Tola back there, you don't just say yes. You don't just agree. You need to challenge, and you need to understand what you're voting on. And if there's one thing that I hope happens with the new board, is I hope that all the board members get involved in budget discussions, that they know what they're voting on, and they take it seriously. You should not, as a board member, sit here and just vote on something because it's on the agenda. We have had board members like that. Back in the days when they delivered the packets to our house, I can tell that there were several board members that never opened the packet till they were at the board meeting. And I could tell the board members that read everything ahead of time and were prepared and came with questions and came with, thoughtfulness. So I encourage you to please do that, because you can skate by, but it will show and everyone will know. I have participated in the selection of 4 different superintendents, Dr. Harkin being the most recent, who I have known for almost all of my tenure here. And I think she's done a fantastic job in that role, especially because she's not an educator in that sense of the word herself. But I will tell you that we were talking about this earlier. Mrs. Harkin and I, we actually get along quite well. But we've had our knockdown dragouts. And I would get a phone call from Mr. Hyde every now and then saying, she's pissed at you again, you need to talk to her. And we always gave it a day to cool off, because she's got a temper too. And then we would get together and we'd say, "Oh, shucks," and we'd debate what was going on. We'd come to a resolution, and we have always done it respectfully and remained friends and had respect for one another. And I'm very proud of the work that you do, Susan. I really am. I know where your heart is. My biggest regret now is that I'm not going to be working with Martina Smith, who I don't know how this happened. As she said, she stays in the background, but I haven't known her but several months, and a very, very impressive lady. And I can't wait to see what you do when you become superintendent in another year. But I'm sure you will be successful, and I would always be available to you by phone or a visit if you ever wanted any counsel from me. I have mentioned jokingly how proud I am of my name being on dedication plaques at Gilbert's Elementary, Gary D. Wright Elementary, Hampshire High School, and Big Timber Elementary, having been there for the groundbreaking and later the dedications. The truth is, I know that those buildings will last at least 50 years, and I know my name will be there for at least 50 years, and I'm actually quite proud of that. I remember very difficult meetings, one where the board had to have police escorts out of the meeting which was held at Adam Elementary School, and the board voted 5-2 to outsource busing. There was a huge outcry, and I can tell you that it was a very difficult vote, and it was the absolute right decision that we made. I don't think this district could afford to do it now because we would have had to be buying buses all that time and kept upgrading, and it's also a distraction from education. I recall very well, Mr. Williamson, that meeting at Westfield School with more audience members than I have ever seen before or after. I want to say, I think there were 2,000 people there. I swear to God. There were. It was a very difficult meeting. A little humor, I can't exactly quote this, but it was the meeting where Miss Monica Clark mumbled something under her breath that was picked up by the microphone and is on YouTube today. And I said to her after the meeting, "You were right, but you should have not had your microphone on." She threw her computer at me that night and said, "I'm done with this. I'm out of here." And she stormed out of the room while we were in the midst of our school board meeting. And I sent a police officer to go get her and bring her back because I needed her to vote on something that night, and I want to make sure she stayed there. I have first met Mr. Williamson during that fateful time when there was a strike. And you were not president of LEAD at that time. And let me just say, it was not a very pleasant encounter. And I'm saying that mildly. And I know that Ms. Miller would agree with me. In fact, Ms. Miller resigned that night and then decided not to. Ms. Miller and I will never forget that night. It was quite a night. Today, however, I can honestly say that being here 17 years, once Mike became president, he always has had nice things to say about board members who have left the board. And I would always go up to him after the meeting and I just nudge him a little bit and say, "Mike, I can't wait to hear what you're going to say when I leave. I just can't wait to hear." But what he said was true. He and I have had many discussions, and we have really grown to respect one another, recognizing that it was okay that sometimes we had different agendas, but we always had the good of the district and the good of the teachers and the good of the students in mind. And I will just say that one of my kids is an educator in a different district. I won't mention where. They have a very weak teachers union. The teachers are well underpaid, and I called Mike up and I said, "Mike, you need to get up there and help those folks out. They don't know what the hell they're doing." And he did. And I'm forever grateful for that. I think, Mike, since you've taken over, how many years has it been? 10 years. 10 years. Mike has changed the whole leadership style of the teachers union, and I think you're a good role model. I think you're a good working partner for the district, and I respect what you do. Don't always agree with it, but I respect where it's coming from, and thank you for that. I consider you now a respected friend. As I'm trying to wrap this up, I want to add that what I will miss most are the kids. The kindergarten kids that come in all slicked up, offering up the pledge, and then walking by and shaking our hands, and you probably don't notice, but they start out very nicely, and by the end they're running because they don't know quite what to do. They're running past us. They're so damn cute, I can't hardly stand it. I always love that part. I also love when the Special Olympics basketball team comes in, or the Special Olympics kids, and to see how excited they get by just being able to be up here and be recognized. And it makes you realize how fortunate we are and how glad I am that we cater to those folks. Another experience that I will never forget that involves Shelley is they one time brought in some severely special needs kids into a board meeting, the closed session back when you could do that legally. And these were all kids who had significant difficulties in communicating. And we were given examples of how our district has helped these kids communicate. And I specifically remember one gentleman, and I have to be real careful how I say this because I don't know how to say this gracefully, but he was having a very, very difficult time just sitting still in a wheelchair. He was just all over the place. And when the proper moment came, they asked him to explain to us how he communicated. And I didn't know what to expect. All of a sudden, his right foot started like this and his right elbow on the arm, and he was spelling out words. And I realized this poor child is perfectly normal here, perfectly normal, just like you and I. But his body was out of control. And I was extremely proud to be on the school board that night and realize what accomplishments those kids have access to by being in this district. It was just unbelievable. I will never forget it. The kids that we honor are another thing that I'm very proud of. And I'm not saying this to be patronizing, but I especially think of Landon Lamarca and the awards that young man has received. And there was one, and I don't remember which one it was, but he was 9th in the world, I believe is what the award was. Do you remember what that was? See, you get so many you don't remember. And I mean, I was in awe of this young man, and still am. If you'd see him, he's an ordinary kid. He's a teenage boy, having fun, loving life, and he's going to go places. And, of course, I give the parents a lot of credit for that. I'm very fond of your son. It's wonderful just to be able to shake hands with these kids and acknowledge what they've done. It's wonderful to hear things like AVID when I was here when it was first instituted and find out how well it's doing. There have been some programs that came and went, but some stuck, and that was one of them. The kids are what I'll miss the most. I wanted throughout my tenure as a board member that they all feel truly valued and help them succeed, recognizing, and I think this is very important, that some of our students have horrific lives outside of school. And I don't think that we can overlook that. We have to be very sensitive that they're not all like we are. We have not all been brought up in homes that are loving and caring. I also know, and this is something that I thought but didn't really know, and now I know, that almost 100% of our teachers are in this profession for all the same reasons. They truly care, they truly love the kids, and they truly love what they do. And they go way out of their way to help a child that needs help. I don't want to single people out for fear of inadvertently leaving someone out, because there are so many people that I could say some nice things about. But I again want to say that Dr. Harkin has raised her family, but she truly loves the kids in this district. It's why she's here. She could retire and live a very comfortable life, but she loves the kids in this district, and she loves this district, and that's why she's here, and we all appreciate that. But one of my most beloved and staff members that I think most highly of is Shelley Nackey. Shelley, I've never known someone who loves children like Shelley loves children. Shelley does wonderful things for people. She does wonderful things with handicapped kids. She loves them all, is never short, and puts in way too many hours. But You do such meaningful work, Shelley, and wonderful work. And I just want you to know that I know it and I love you for what you do. To my fellow board members, starting with Mrs. Zettler, I have known you since 2006. I want to thank you for your work in helping to secure the referendum of 2006 for the Sears settlements. And I have a little bit of a different spin on our relationship. Maybe not a lot, but Nancy and I have gone at it. And the first thing we went at it over was the track. Remember that? But she's right. After a couple of our episodes, I don't know who invited who, but we went out for coffee a couple of times and got to know each other and find out what's behind her position, what's behind my position. And she's very passionate, as am I. And we do bump our heads now and then. But I think we agree on many more things than not. And she keeps saying we don't agree on a lot, but I actually think we do. And I truly admire and respect you, Nancy, and I'm glad you're on the board. You're a good person, and I know you'll continue to work for the kids.
I do have one disagreement. We would go out for beers after meetings when I used to come to meetings.
And she also called me the night of the election to invite me to where they were all gathered watching the results, and I really appreciate that. That meant a lot to me.
Glad you came.
Mr. Thomas, I am one of 7 that had the pleasure of helping to appoint you to the board. I believe that you were the first ever person of color to sit on this board. And I'm very proud of that fact. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you ran for re-election. And I hope you continue to voice your opinion, which is always, you've always felt free to disagree, which is a good thing. And I admire that. You should not sit on this board thinking that every vote has to be 7-0. It does not. So I wish you the best, and I hope you continue to sit on this board. To one of my oldest friends on the board, Mr. Fiorentino, I am so glad you ran again and were elected. You have been a friend and a confidant, a huge supporter of the district, and I wish you nothing but the best. And your wife and I had a wonderful conversation the night of the election, and we've agreed we're going to get together in Wisconsin sometime soon. To the lady missing on my left, Mrs. Burkett, she and I did speak today. I'm sorry that she is a little under the weather and couldn't be here. But I didn't know what to make of this little woman when she sat here. But she sat quietly, didn't say much, looked at me cross-eyed if I slipped a note to Steve or maybe over to Leslie, which I've been known to do now and then. But after sitting quietly, she's now a fully functioning, participating board member. She asks difficult questions. She asks all kinds of questions. She gives her opinion, and she has great insights. And so now I call her Chatty Cathy. I hope she stays committed and will decide to run again. And this is another thing I would say to Randy and Tola. There is a big learning curve. You will not learn it in a year. Pay attention to how others ask questions, but don't be afraid to be yourself and truly be yourself. Mrs. Lamarca, I am so sorry you didn't run again. You have been a stellar board member, and as I said, you're a person who never says no, especially if someone is in need. So it's an honor to call you my friend. And Ray, you're my friend too. Dr. Scarpino. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have my suit and tie on only for you. It's the first I've had one on in a long time. Someday you will know what it's like to not have to put a tie on, and it'll be wonderful, I guarantee you. David and I have known each other since 2006. When he said we'd gone like that, you have no idea. You have no idea. But since you joined this board, I know where your heart and your mind is. It's always with the kids and the employees of this district. You have made a truly great board president, forcing this board without even knowing that to get us to talk in truly meaningful ways, have debates and discussion. And I remember one of the board meetings where people said we looked like we didn't know what the hell we were doing was one of our best board meetings we've ever had. Yes. People get confused when we just vote 7070 or whatever it is. And when we have debates in public like that, I think it's healthy. And you've encouraged that, instilled that, and I hope that that continues. It's always been done respectfully. But one of the other things that I have respected most about you is what you said about remote learning and how if you don't, this is something that I had learned early on. If you don't learn to read by third grade, you're pretty well dead in the water. You have to learn to read. It's why every time the strategic plan came up, I was a stickler for where's reading, because that has to happen. But you've been very helpful to all of us. You've been a great leader. I hope that there is wisdom on the new board to elect you as president again. You and I have become surprisingly good friends. I would never have believed it 2 years ago, and you probably wouldn't have either. But you're a good man, and you do good work. And I wish you nothing but the best, and thank you for being my friend. I enjoy that. So in a final comment, I do not apologize for the length of my statement. It's like a long goodbye. I say to Randy and Tola, welcome aboard. You have much to learn and much to offer. Be fiercely independent with your vote. Don't vote some way because another board member voted that way. Vote your conscience and know what it is you're voting on, and you'll be a great board member. The only way to succeed is to dive in, stay involved in all matters before you, and I wish you nothing but the best, and I will offer you the same comment. You know how to get a hold of me. I'm more than happy to talk to anybody and give you advice which you are not obligated to follow. I would like to thank the voters who have returned me to this board multiple times, to all staff past and present that I've had the pleasure to work with, including Diane, who has catered to my every whim, including this little clock that she puts in front of my seat every board meeting because I complained there was no clock in the room. Thank you to the district for giving me the opportunity to serve one of the best public school districts in Illinois. I truly love you all. Thank you.
I will be very brief. I'm only 4 years in, so how long could I be? But really, I just want to start off by addressing Mr. Stevens' comment. He said he hoped that he influenced me. You very much influenced me, Mr. Stevens, from the first time you sauntered into my office at Carolina Cambridge Lakes and sat down, and I think that happened then regularly. We had all kinds of great discussions. I, at that time, was on the board for the charter school, and of course, Joe was on this board, and yeah, that just sparked a lot of interest in me to continue on and do, this. So thank you. And then, having been elected, and then they made me this, I don't know who made this decision, and that must have maybe been you. I was co-chair of the finance committee. I think even my husband chuckled about that one. But sitting next to this gentleman for a couple of years and going to those meetings, and I know I asked an insane amount of questions. Poor Susan, Dr. Harkin was the CFO back then, and I'm sure she was like, oh my God, Mrs. Lamarca is calling me again or emailing me again. But I asked a lot of questions, and both of them showed a tremendous amount of patience with me, so thank you. But sitting next to this man and seeing how he led that group and asked the tough questions when they needed to be asked, I learned so much. And from that moment on, I've considered you one of my mentors, so thank you. And of course, we will stay friends. You live across the flipping street, so you. We will stay friends. You and your wife are two of the most wonderful people that I've had the pleasure of having in my life. So, all right. So again, I will be very brief. I just want to say thank you. I have always considered public service to be a privilege. And serving on this board has been my privilege, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it was always easy and always the first place I wanted to be, but it doesn't matter. It was a privilege, and I truly hope from the bottom of my heart that everyone who voted for me back in 2019, I hope that I've represented you well, because I can honestly say that I tried. I really tried. And even when I didn't want to try anymore in the thick of everything that we dealt with for a couple of years, I still tried. And I'm sure I disappointed some of you at times, but I want you to know that I always tried. And I want to thank you for your vote and for believing in me back in 2019. So I want to say that. And then I do want to say thank you again for all the wonderful comments. I will hold them close, and they came from so many people that I just love and adore and respect tremendously. And I will be directing all of my passion now towards the D300 Food Pantry and other interests that I have in my life. So thank you for your continued support in that realm. And I guess last, I just want to say that Tola and Randy, and I just want, first of all, I want to say I'm really, really thrilled about the way that the recent election went, and I know from the depths of my soul that we are on a great trajectory with leadership in place like Dr. Harkin and Dr. Smith and all of these other wonderful people, many of them here tonight. I mean, this district can't do anything but succeed, can just complete the positive trajectory that they've had going, and they will continue that. And, you know, like I think Mr. Stevens said, I'm a little disappointed I won't be here for when Dr. Smith takes the battalion, but I've had the pleasure of working with her in you know, the last several months, and they're not getting rid of me because I'm going to be in their face about the pantry. So I'm going to be around. But no, I just know and feel very positive about the future as far as that goes. But to Tola and Randy, I just want to say a couple of quick things. There will definitely, it will not always be the easy thing to do to come put your rear in this seat on a Tuesday night. Sometimes you'll find yourselves thinking of all these things in your head of like, well, I could call and say I have a headache, or I could, you know, so it won't always be where you want to be. I mean, that's just the way our lives are. We have many things going on, tons of things coming at us all the time, and it's a commitment that you make, and you know in your heart you need to be here and you need to give it your all. And I know both of you will do that. That's why I feel so good about the fact that you will be in these seats. But I want to say it won't always be easy to be here on a Tuesday night, but it'll be worth it. I've never come here and sat through a meeting, even some of the meetings that we don't like to remember, and regretted it. I've always learned something. I've always taken something from the experience and grown as a person, and you will do the same. So remember that. And I also want to say I agree with what Mr. Stevens says. There is a learning curve, but you will never feel more welcome and more empowered on day one than these people make you feel. I mean, Mr. Hyde did it, Ann Miller, Dr. Harkin. I mean, from day one, they make you feel like, hey, we're all on the same team here, and you're one of the players now. And that'll just, like I said, really make you feel empowered and ready to go from day one. And yeah, you'll ask a lot of questions, and you'll feel a little out of sorts at first, but you'll snap in very quickly because it's just the way this group rolls. And you will never, I can say this with a ton of conviction, you will never regret what you've done as far as getting elected and being a part of this organization, because it is really, truly an enlightening experience. And you will work alongside some of the finest human beings that you ever will in your entire life. These people up here, the fellow board members that you'll work with, and these people out here, as well as all of the wonderful families and rest of the community members within District 300. So again, thank you all. It's been a great 4 years. And again, just thank you for all the kind words. They just mean so much, especially coming from so many people that I love and adore. Thank you.
I have an act that I'm going to be doing right now. I'm going to take privilege as the president. I'm going to pass the gavel to Mr. Stevens, and I'm going to have you do the adjournment for the meeting, sir.
So moved.
Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Lamarca, aye. Fiorentino. Aye. Scarpino.
Aye.
Thomas. Zeller.
Aye.
Joe Stevens. Motion passes 6-0.